Miss Bond, how did Zora Neale Hurston influence your writing?
Zora has a very specific way of expressing emotional truths, and she's a very succinct writer. And I have a background in poetry, so the emotionality of her language and how clear and striking it is, I think that's the piece of Zora's actual writing life that I think seeped the most into the language of our book.
Miss Simon, how did Zora Neale Hurston influence your writing?
I think one of the things I really love about Zora's writing is that she never shies away from the truth of anything. And I'm somebody to whom the truth matters a lot. So I think I was really deeply influenced by Zora's fearlessness in naming the world around her and in really digging to uncover what's really behind her character's actions and consequently the actions of the people in the world around her.
What inspires you most about her writing?
I think I'm inspired by the degree to which she just loves black culture and black people, and I'm inspired by the way in which she fearlessly took on anything that she found intellectually interesting. And I'm inspired by the fact that she never allowed herself to be pigeonholed as one thing. So she was a folklorist and a novelist and an ethnographer and a playwright and a short story writer and a journalist. Like she could do so many different things, and I find that inspirational.
What inspires you most about Zora Neale Hurston's writing?
Whenever I read Zora, I always feel like someone's telling me a secret. And I think that's because she's able to cultivate in her work this sense that she has an individual relationship. The persona of the author has this individual relationship with the reader. So in a way I always feel like someone's whispering to me, that I'm sitting on a porch and someone is telling me some rich secret. And I think that's the thing about her work that I would like most to capture. This idea of one reader out there and one kind of narrative voice that are bound in this beautiful dance.
What inspires you about her personal story?
I think that Zora had a lot of hardship when she was young, and instead of letting that break her, she took that hardship and she turned it into beautiful things over and over again in her writing. And I think I'm also really moved by the fact that she wasn't scared to leave home, and at the same time her leaving home didn't mean she had to forget home. So she simultaneously left home and kept her home with her, and I think that's really inspiring to me.
Well, Zora was a very independent person who didn't let what other people told her about herself or her work switch or shift her attitude about her own work. So I think, in this time when we constantly have all of these kind of voices, seeping in on our phones, our text messages, the voices from Facebook, the voices from your friends, the voices from everywhere, it's really inspiring to read the work of someone who didn't allow the opinions of other people to shake what she knew about herself. Zora's sense of self was very stable, even though she experienced, such peaks and valleys in her life. So I think that's what I learned the most from Zora's life. On the good days, remember that it can go bad, and on the bad days, remember that it can go good.